Hey guys! So, informational video, new series on beekeeping. I have to make my coffee first though. Okay. Here's my cup. The ice cube that's in it. I make ice cubes from our coffee. Coffee ice. I use 2 of those. Then I use ice cubes out of these trays because these ice cubes are from purified water. And how many ice cubes I use depends on whether or not the coffee is hot. Today it's not hot because I made it yesterday, so. And it still makes good coffee. Now, the only thing that I use in this, other than the coffee that I buy from the store or that I've bought on Amazon, is the flavored creamers. But I don't like the taste of coffee. I've never liked the taste of actual coffee, so flavored creamers it is. Until I can find a healthier way to make flavored coffee. This one's chocolate caramel. And this one's peppermint mocha. 2 of my favorite ones. Put those over there in case I need any more. The coffee, I use the purified water in the coffee. I don't even know if it's going to be a bowl. Just enough. So I'll have to wash my coffee pot. The coffee, I use purified water to make the coffee with. So, I'm actually thinking about buying a coffee tree seedling as well. Along with, call me crazy, but, okay, three tree seedlings I'm going to be buying. Banana tree, because I don't know how to get seeds for those. I might buy a couple of those. And stupid flies. A coffee tree seedling. And a cacao tree seedling. Now, you might wonder on that one, but Doug and Stacy from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, they have a cacao tree. So, and I have a feeling it's in their greenhouse. So if they can get it to grow, and they live in the northeastern part of Missouri, they can get it to grow, then I'm sure we can. So, and those trees will just go in our greenhouse. Okay, yeah, I was missing that today. So I got all our hand wash done. All that is sitting out to dry and or dry. So I had it hanging on our railing outside, then I had to bring all that in because the wind was just blowing it all over the place. So anyway, so today we start our series on beekeeping. This can last anywhere between, this series is going to last anywhere between 3 to 6 weeks. I say that because it just depends on whether or not I do 2 videos a day or 1. So it's going to last anywhere between 3 to 6 weeks because I have 41 pins on it, at least right now. No promises that I won't end up with a few more. Anyway, so, just as a question, what do you guys think of when you think of beekeeping? I've never done it. It is going to be something I'm going to get into on our property. I want at least 4 beehives. Why 4? This seems like a lot for a family of 3. Yes, it is. Okay. The reason is because of that homesteading community that I want to build up on the mountain with the other homesteaders that I know are there. And there's quite a few others that are there, so. Okay. So I'm just going to get right into this, and the first one just seemed like the perfect one to start it with, so here we go. Getting started with beekeeping. Tips for the beginner beekeeper. Now, one thing I am going to say before I start reading this, on Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, on their videos, and I have not gone through and watched them yet, I do plan on it. But on their videos, Doug has stated that it's much better to catch your own swarm from wherever you live. It's better to get local. Because, and I know I've said it before on a couple of other videos, if you try to send away for a swarm, those bees might not adapt to the climate you live in, and they could end up dying. So, it's much better to catch one. So I don't know how it's going to go, but I still have to watch Doug and Stacy's videos on it, and I will let you guys know on that. So here we go. Advice on getting started with keeping honeybees, including the requirements to get started, hive location, equipment, and natural beekeeping books. This is an introductory piece that will help beginner beekeepers understand more about how to begin. And I do still have to look into like all the ins and outs of beekeeping down here, and I will do that. I'm hoping that we can, I don't know if I'll be able to start that this year or not. It kind of depends on that money. If we have enough, if we get that money, then I'm going to go ahead and order all the equipment that I need, like a complete kit of, like from A to Z, complete kit of everything that I need for beekeeping, including the suit and just the whole 9 yards. I might order 2 suits because this is going to be coming off. I'm slimming down. And today is day 8. I have not had pop for 8 days. So, 8 days, guys. 8 days and counting because it's no more. Just no more. And I can say the only thing that I've had that was even remotely unhealthy was these little tiny cupcakes because they were bought for my birthday. But they were little tiny ones. And this is kombucha. Tea-biotics, and it's cherry lime. Traditional kombucha tea starts with pure, simple ingredients. Ultra-clean hydrating water. 5-stage filtration process produces the purest tasting water free of impurities and chemicals. Fresh pressed organic fruits. Real fruit for the fullest flavor. No concentrates, no preservatives, no artificial colors. Freshly steeped organic tea and herbs. Crafted blend of organic black and green tea for a balanced flavor, and was made with a real SCOBY, so. I'm gonna try my hand at making some more, but I'll have to use like the distilled water or our purified water. What I made, I'm gonna have to throw away because I wasn't thinking and I used our tap water, so. Okay. The smell of the beehive is delicious and alluring. That alone is worth it. The buzz of the bees as they go about their daily work is entrancing. Watching them can occupy hours of my time. The taste of honey is delectable, whether off the tip of my finger as I go through a hive or out of the honey jar after harvest. I am a beekeeper and I love it. And I hope that's where I'll be with it as well. Beekeeping is both an art and a science. The draw of keeping bees has been part of the history of man, and honey was found thick and still tasty. That's gonna have to. Sorry, I've got something we're gonna have to throw away somehow. Thick and still tasty in the Egyptian tombs. Honey never goes bad, never spoils, but that is part of the science of beekeeping, and I am getting ahead of myself. And they show pictures of how they get started, how they got started. And I have had fresh honey, like fresh honey with the honeycomb. Friends of my mom and dad's, when I was a kid, gave my mom and dad a 5-gallon bucket of fresh, raw, pure honey with honeycomb inside it, fresh from a hive, when I was a kid. And I remember my mom and dad, my mom, she made me some toast, and she put some of the honey on it, and she made sure some of the honeycomb was on it, and it was so good. Never forgot it. Requirements to get started beekeeping. Sorry. Oh, I've also quit drinking milk. Yes, I still use Slim Fast. I know it's not exactly healthy. I was using it before when I lost weight years ago. It does have some added preservatives and stuff in it. But I've stopped using regular milk and I've started using almond milk, which that's not exactly deemed the healthiest either, but it's getting me away from dairy, and that's what I wanted. So one step at a time, and I'm getting away from the really unhealthy stuff, and I haven't touched pop, and I'm not going to. So, alright, here are the requirements to get started beekeeping. Number 1, curiosity about bees. Passion develops over time and experience. Number 2, a place to put your beehive. This is simpler than it might seem. Definitely on the property. And it's going to be over near the orchard, so. Number 3, a budget for equipment and bees. No, you do not need the budget for the bees. You can catch your own swarm. And I'm going to have to educate myself over the winter because I need to know how to do that safely. If I can get the complete kit this winter, then I might actually try to do that this spring when we get on the property, and we're going to be able to do it. It's just one way or the other, we're going to be on that property this spring. So hopefully we'll be able to set up at least a couple of hives this spring, along with our gardens and place to stay. Okay. Books. Years before I started keeping bees, I read books about bees. Mostly those books were poetic and romantic, such as The Queen Must Die by William Longgood and The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. I loved that Sherlock Holmes was a beekeeper. And then there are Mary Oliver's many lovely poems about bees, particularly Hum. As I prepared to keep bees, I read books about the science of beekeeping. The more I read both books on the internet forum posts, I realized that I wanted to keep bees as naturally as possible. My father was a doctor and never took any medicine himself because he said there are always side effects. That's bad. When a doctor won't take the medicine because of the side effects, that says something. My reason for getting into the natural medicines as well. And it all goes right along with homesteading, so why not, right? Okay. I couldn't see any reason to think any differently about bees in the beehive. So the books I then chose to read were more about keeping bees without the use of pesticides or treatment in the hives. Here is where the fuzzy line between beekeeping as an art and beekeeping as a science. Every beekeeper has to take a philosophical stand about the use of treatment in the beehive. I prefer a treatment-free approach, so my favorite books are The Complete Idiot's Guide to Beekeeping, which I might actually buy that book. I've seen that on Amazon. By Stiglitz and Herboldsheimer, and Natural Beekeeping by Ross Conrad. Natural Beekeeping by Ross Conrad. Apparently I can't read tonight. And that last name, Herboldsheimer, I'm going to spell that because I know AI is going to murder that name. Herboldsheimer. Herboldsheimer. I know AI is going to screw that up. If you want to keep bees, read for yourself and make informed decisions about how to manage the inevitable pests in the hive. Hive location. Hive location. The next focus in getting ready to keep bees is deciding where to put them. People today keep beehives everywhere and anywhere. Hives are on top of buildings in New York City. My first hives were on the deck of my house, just a few feet from my back door. The main things to keep in mind in locating hives are, number one, will you have easy access to them? If they are hard to get to, you will learn less from them because you will go there less frequently, and your bees will get less attention from you. Can they face east or southeast? The sun hitting the hive entry first thing in the morning gets the bees out and working. I'll have to remember that. Will they get at least a half day of sun, and are they in a dry location? The sun helps keep the small hive beetle at bay and generally helps the hive thrive. Is there a water source? If there isn't, you can provide one, such as a pan with pebbles in it filled with water. The bees can't swim, so they need the pebbles for landing. If you do not provide a water source, the bees will use your neighbor's swimming pools, and you will be a target for complaints. Number 5, will you be able to manage your neighbor's concerns? No, we don't really have to worry about that on the property, so. My hives on my deck were masked by a hedge so that the neighbors were not reminded every day that I had bees on my deck. Hives that I manage at an inn face a fence so that they fly out and up and are high in the air before they reach the neighbors' yards. Beekeeping equipment. An exact bee space of 5 by 16 inches is required for bees to move about and function in their hive. This informs the way man-made hives are built and how the frames for the bees to live on are constructed. Likely, there are bee equipment companies that make equipment for beekeepers. Luckily, there are bee equipment companies that make equipment for beekeepers. They build the hive boxes according to the specifications needed by the bees. I made my hive box decisions by thinking about weight. I want to keep bees until I am old and feeble, so I use all medium Langstroth boxes. Their weight, even full of honey, is manageable for me. Also, I can move frames around in the hive if I need to because all of the frames I am using fit all of my boxes. You'll have to decide what type of hive equipment configuration will work for you. Hives and colonies. In the United States, a basic hive includes a couple of boxes for brood and then boxes for honey. A beginning hive here would need at least a total of 4 boxes to make it through a season. Other countries use different configurations. In Lithuania, where I traveled last year to look at beehives and meet beekeepers, the bees were kept in chest configurations. Instead of stacking up boxes to make the hive taller and taller as we do in the United States, they continuously removed honeycomb and added empty frames for the bees to continue storage and growth. Once you've set up your hives, you are ready for your bees. Bees can be ordered and actually arrive through the Postal Service. I prefer to order nucleus hives and pick them up from a supplier. A nucleus hive is a mini beehive with a laying queen, bees, honey, and pollen. You install this mini hive into a bigger hive box and the bees take it from there. An exciting way to collect bees is to capture a swarm. That's what I was talking about. Every year the hive is inclined to split in two in a Darwinian way of increasing the species. The queen leaves with half of the bees, mostly the young ones. She and her retinue then begin a new hive. If the beekeeper can find and capture a swarm, it's a gift from nature. I consider it a gift from God. Often they are hanging from a tree or shrub and are easy to get. I'm going to try to show this. See if I can turn the computer away from that light. Yeah, that's not working. Jeez. I don't know what it is with my phone. You can barely see it, but I tried. Even trying to turn it away from that light, it still reflects it. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. It's a swarm of honeybees hanging from a tree branch. Looks like it's about probably, 16 to 18 inches long. Now you're a beekeeper. Once your bees are installed in your hive, your beekeeping responsibilities begin. It is now your job to take care of your thousands of little charges. Your main responsibilities include inspecting your hive to make sure the queen is alive and functioning and giving the bees enough space and resources to live. I always try to think respectfully about the beehive and recognize that I am entering it uninvited. I move slowly and carefully to honor their tiny lives. Along the way, you'll get to harvest honey, if you are lucky and the bees make enough to get themselves through the winter. The beekeeper only takes what's extra after the bees are prepared to survive the cold months, and the beekeeper only takes fully capped honey that is below 18.6% moisture, which is why honey can be completely fine after being in the Egyptian tombs. Real honey, below 18.6 moisture, can't mold. The benefits of beekeeping. Beekeeping has taught me so much and introduced me to so many interests. I now check the weather every day, know a lot about construction, pay attention to the botany of my area and what is in bloom, am informed and care about sex in the honeybee, and have learned to use the products of the hive. I make lip balm, lotion, candles, and soap. And I'll do the same. I melt wax in the sun almost every day in the summer. My house smells deliciously of honey and wax when any bee action has taken place that day. I love the bees and hope you will join the great beekeeping adventure with your own hives. Okay, and this gives you a little insight on who this is talking. Linda Tillman lives in the middle of urban Atlanta and keeps her bees in her postage stamp backyard. She has been keeping bees for 9 years and is passionate about her tiny charges. She manages about 18 hives in various parts of the city and tries to maintain her beekeeping in a treatment-free manner. When not talking about her bees or working in her hives, Linda is a clinical psychologist, a grandmother, a bread baker, and a blogger. Linda started her blog, Linda's Bees, so her family would know about her beekeeping activities, but has grown to be a source of experience and information for beekeepers all over the world. And that is it on the first one, for the first informational video of this series on beekeeping. That's the first I've really read about it, so I was angled weird. Anyway, so that's the first one, and I can't wait. If we get that money, and I'm gonna have to watch those videos, Doug and Stacy, and I'm probably gonna go ahead and order that book, Beekeeping for Dummies, I think it is. Off from Amazon, and start reading it, and learn all I can because I really want that raw honey and I don't want to have to go and try to find it. I want us to be able to have it. For medicinal purposes, for health, just everything. And it's delicious in drinks and homemade salad dressings and just a whole bunch of different things. So, oh, I will get off from here and I will get this video uploaded. And I don't know if I'm going to have time to do another one tonight. I might do the second one tonight. Because I do have quite a few on here. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to make it to where bears can't get to them. Oh, electric fences, crap. Hmm. Well, that'll be one to read. Talking about electric fences to keep the bears out. But we are going to have a privacy fence around the whole living space, so that should help quite a bit. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of pins on beekeeping, so. Even ways to make your own hives, like with mason jars, which I thought that was really cool. That was some of the first ones that I saved, so.
Right.
But that was the first one, and like I said, I might do a second one because I have 41. And I don't know if I really want to take 41 days to do it. So. But I'm going to get off from here and get this video uploaded, and you guys have a good night. And I might see you on another video tonight, so just do your research, and whatever you're thinking about doing on your homestead, do your research and try it. There's nothing wrong with trying it. Because if it works, you've got something extra to add to your family and your health and just to help your homestead out and help your family out. So give it a go, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.